If it's new research, I'm listening.
Hello. Sorry, name is glitch variable, I suppose, is what you'll know me by. First time doing audio, so I do apologize. It may be a bit terrible. This is my first time streaming, recording for the First Descendant. I have already kind of showed it, but since I didn't have audio before, I'll do it again. This is Blair, one of my two major descendants I use. My builds aren't perfect. I'm not going to pretend to be a pro. That would be an inaccurate assessment of who I am in this game. I do love the Smithereens, the Fallen Hope, Greg's Reverse Fate, I occasionally use, the Restored Relic. These are my reactor currently. Definitely some room for improvement. Okay, and this is my Descendant build for Blair. I'm hoping to go for the incendiary, I think it's incendiary bomb module, but it's going to take some time as I'm not fully in hard mode. In terms of Colossi, I still need to defeat the Hanged Man. Just doing a short stream because one of the people on the social medias has asked me to share. So I'm doing that, and with that, it's not going to be a long video. Just going to go to Kingston, do a little bit of hard mode shenanigans. My Blair is currently slightly under leveled. I do apologize. I'm kind of shy, so not used to doing audio included. This is my first time doing this. I know people on the internet aren't always kind, and I expect that I probably will be flamed terribly and relentlessly in the comments and responses. And I understand that is the nature of the internet, so I can't promise I won't block people for it, but I will accept reasonable criticisms and scrutiny. Okay. While this loading, unfortunately, I do play on PS4. I don't quite have a PS5 yet due to scalpers. I would have possibly had it earlier, but I don't, so I do apologize in advance for the terribly lengthy loading screens. I honestly just today realized I could utilize audio, so yeah. Here we go. It's not loading yet. Are we actually loading the hard mode? Should have been hard mode. And of course not. For some reason it did not load me in hard mode. I do apologize. I will have to reload. I do currently have a cold, so I do apologize. My nose is quite congested, but I am a man of my word, and since I said I would, I am. If I say I'll do something, then unless I've established as a joke, I usually will just get along to doing so. Alright. Just going to try hard mode with each of them, with each Descendant that I have actively played and kind of tried to build. I make no claims that these are going to be super well, but I do know that Blair, for the most part, and Kyle are still fairly plausible for use in hard mode right now. I'm still kind of learning as I go along. I don't know everything. Oh, I do want to show you something once things get, loaded in. We're now in hard mode, as you can clearly see, so no one, says, oh, well, you don't play on hard mode, so GTF, whatever. These are the modules. I've gotten almost all of the modules available currently. Here, let me just, okay, let me move over here. Yep, I mean, there's quite a few I'm missing, but I've gotten a good percentage of them. 400 and something out of 500 and something. I do plan to at some point get all of them. Some of them I've already had but deleted because they're not going to serve any long-term purpose for me. I do apologize. I do get that it might seem like I'm just stalling. Yeah. Just a little list of the weapons I have and don't have. Hard mode, of course, a lot of these are locked behind there. The Descendants I do have and have attempted. I'm very curious about Sharon. I feel like she has untapped potential. I haven't gotten to test her yet. I have no interest in Luna, unfortunately. Her kit does not meet my liking. I do at some point want to get SMO. I already have Enzo, as you saw earlier, before I added the voice, that he is actually being created currently, crafted. Got a few more hours. Oopsie, sorry. All right, and I have had a few of those. I need to craft my 5 that are in stock, and I have 2 more of those to craft, so there's that. Right, and with that, let's get into some actual gameplay. Oh, I forgot to track. This is how I play, unfortunately. I do apologize if it's a bit of an eyesore to the pros out there. As I said, I am not a pro. I'm just a guy who games for fun and efficiency. I like to find the middle ground between both fun and efficiency. I don't prioritize one over the other.
Excellent timing! I just happened to be mid-battle! Help me by protecting the radar over there! Thanks to that, we can track down the enemy command center. So it better not break!
I'm gonna be a little bit even though there's no one currently watching, I'm kind of nervous with knowing that it is recorded. Might even do a little bit of hangman action, even though he's not going to contribute a whole lot. I don't quite get the hangman fight yet.
Our radar really is bothering them. Let's show them what an electrifying attack looks like.
I go down here.
Looks like they're falling back. Great job. I'll need to get a move on.
And that's generally just a little small tidbit of Blair in hard mode. It's not perfect, but get the job done. I guess with that, we'll switch over to Kyle. I once again would like to apologize for being nervous. I guess with some practice on this, I could do a little bit better in future. Let's switch to Kyle. And we're gonna just, I guess, walk through that. Let me get rid of the fodder items, because I'm probably not going to use any of these. Probably going to save some of these. See, is that? Yeah, no, that's not gonna fly for me. This one might be useful, so I'll save it. Yeah, that should be fine. Sorry. That one's not going to be super useful. I know people don't like to use shields. I definitely am a fan of shields. At least with Kyle. I would like to get the shield collector mod. I feel like that's where all the potential for shields comes in. Alright, so this is my Kyle. Obviously, I love me the Smithereens. We have Tomb Vanguard set for Kyle because it makes him nigh unkillable. I mean, as long as I'm playing proficiently, obviously, there's always room for error there. And yep, Greg's Reverse Fate. I'm trying to experiment with the Piercing Light. Not quite the best of it. I don't really have a second weapon that I use. Smithereens and Greg's Reverse Fate are kind of my bread and butter right now. Let me see, what do I have him? Because I was last using him to farm something. I think all of mine might be electric now? Nope, okay. We do have one diverse element. Yep, okay. So that one actually needs to be turned to the chill element. And we're good. And oh yeah, modules. Currently my Kyle build. Since he does have an adequate amount of HP and shield, this gives him 35% currently. It caps out, I think, at 46% added damage. His mods aren't maxed, obviously. I'm going to have to downgrade him once more, but I don't really wish to do that during the course of this video. And he currently has a skill power of the 15k mark. He has 13k defense, 4,277.25 shield, and the 5,985.28%. Clearly, like I said, not a professional. I get quite nervous when I'm being watched or observed or just generally recording. Once again, I am going to apologize for being jittery and slightly under the weather. This is Kyle. I guess I could probably do Volby next. She's not fully built. She doesn't even have a mod doubling. But Kyle was integrated. Most of the ones got stuff with I consider Kyle a
excellent timing. I just happen to be mid-battle. Help me by protecting the radar over there. Thanks to that, we can track down the enemy command center. So it better not break.
Kyle than it would be with Blair because with tank, not much bother with Kyle. There ain't much that Kyle cares about in fight because he doesn't take damage for the most part. He barely gets scratched. Kyle's my safe choice. He's able to throw in there and tolerate whatever the enemy has to throw at him.
Oh, looks like they're serious. Maybe our radar really is bothering them. Let's show them what an electrifying attack looks like. Whew. Looks like they're falling back. Great job. I'll need to get a move on.
We got ourselves a snowflake conductor. And that's Kyle. My best built descendant, honestly. He's a sturdy tank. He doesn't really have to care about much. He goes in there and he does what Kyle does. Alright, I guess we'll go to another descendant. This whole thing is just a build show. What I found that, you know, the characters can and can't do. But I'm not a pro. I make no claims towards being a pro. Oh, we have a viewer. Welcome, Prototype 10987. Let me see if I could fix the audio for you. Can you hear me now? I do apologize. Is the audio coming through now? I don't know if it's coming through. It is PS4. Greetings, Prototype 10987. Can you hear me? Crud. Is the volume just too low, or what's the... Is the audio just... What's the issue? Let me see. Just trying to figure out the source of the problem. Okay, so it's the volume. Gotcha. All right, let me see if I could fix that for you. Hello? How about now? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Just let me know. I do apologize. How about there? Is that better? I do apologize. I usually don't use the audio, so I'm not used to this. Okay, cool. Yep. I don't know when you got there. I do apologize. I was just kind of just showing some gameplay. This will just become a VOD afterwards. This was just my call. Would you like me to just run that back? We are currently on hard mode right now in Kingston. Just shenanigans. Sorry, I know you're at work, so I don't want to be super rude or demanding. Would you like me to redo the mission? Okay, I think that was a yes to that. So this is just my Kyle. He's kind of my best built descendant. He's a tank, so obviously not going to be doing a whole bunch of damage. We're kind of just the whole point of a tank. Don't die. Be unscratchable, right? Did you catch the build? I'm going to open it up again for you so you can see. We got the stem accelerant because Kyle is more shield oriented, as you're fairly well aware of. I would say at this point, survivability, he's a hybrid because Kyle's a bit of a damage tank. I have these things. He just pretty much, I can walk into a Colossus right now. I don't have the hard mode ones fully unlocked because I still have to get past Hangman, and as you know, that can be a pain in the butt depending on who else is in the team. But generally, my Kyle just goes through fights and doesn't feel anything while kind of doing a steady stream of damage to my enemies, which you'll see. He's not a speed clearer, obviously. He's just there to wreak havoc, consistent havoc. I mostly use him as a melee style.
Thanks to that, we can track down the enemy command
as you'll
center.
see.
So
I do like to use the sub module because Kyle's the only character in the game currently I can get melee stuff going with. And this is just for like nice little finishers every so often if I can keep myself from taking too much damage, which usually is not a problem. Sorry, I'm nervous because I don't usually do live stuff. First time having audio actually. I need some ammunition. I didn't get to show you the reactors or anything or the components. I do apologize. I'll backtrack for that at the end. Uh-oh, wrong thing. Smithereens is usually for boss finisher, kind of a deal. That's how I use it. Say double purple. The reactors you're talking about, or the components, I mean? I'm not sure which one. I do apologize. Comments are a bit delayed due to, you know, hardware functionality being a PS4 player and such, so I do apologize. Oh, it's just because they can overlap on ammo. The snipers mostly used like during like Colossi fights to target the weak points, get them out of their invuln phase quicker. I just don't have a third weapon, to be more honest and upfront about it. Earlier I did show which ones I have unlocked of the ultimates, really, but I didn't. You weren't here for that. I do apologize.
Let's show them what an electrifying attack looks like. Looks like they're falling back.
Like I said, I do get a bit nervous when being watched. I'm just now getting into hard mode, so most of the weapons I want are locked behind, you know, the hard mode stuff, and I generally play alone in most cases, so it's taking a bit of time. Like I said, trapped on the hanged man because I hadn't gotten a good squad to actually take him down. Like, in the last squad I was in, the only one who didn't die was me. Everyone else kept dying so much, and we couldn't even get him out of invuln before. If you'd like, I could just go do a hangman so you could see what the problem is. Like I said, I'm not making any claims of being a pro here. If you want, we could just focus on, I guess, Kyle shenanigans. Or I was just gonna, I guess, for the video VOD, just show you each of the ones I've built. But since you're here, I can actually, I guess, show you what you wish to see. Let me get rid of these because most of these are just fodder for now. Yeah, those are for Sharon because I don't play Bunny. These are materials for me. Oh, wait. Okay, I don't want to be disingenuous, so I just want to make sure everything is, understood. Let me go back here so you can see what's going on here. As I said, Kyle is a shield guy. He doesn't have MP. He pretty much, I'm pretty sure you know how Kyle works. He only uses shields. Shields is his MP for him. So pretty much anything with him, you can just ignore MP like this. Just gives him a buttload of HP with no MP. This is usually mostly just to make sure his... I found that resistances make shields take less damage in my experiences. Like if I were to take that off, my shields would diminish rather quickly. So shields and resistances have some sort of interaction, if that makes sense. So that is that. I like to play Kyle melee style. Let's go to some... Oh, wait. Sorry. Forgot. I wanted to show you the actual reactors before I moved on to the next character. We'll go back to Blair, who is slightly under level because I just socketed him yesterday before bed. And, yep, this is Kyle. Before I move on to the next one. He's got the firearm attack up to 23k and change, 15k-ish for skill power, 13k in defense. I don't know if you could see that, but text is tiny, I do apologize. He's got 4,277 max shields and 5,985 HP, just to kind of make sure he's survivable as possible. These are his overall stats. Currently, like I said, Greg's Reverse Fate's kind of doing the hard carry of this. I only pull out when an enemy is too solid to chip away at with this. It's... Oh, well, I'll go back and show you what their elements are. Let me just piece by piece. The Piercing Light I'm still kind of building. It's freshly built. Barely has any mods on it. Smithereens I've invested quite a bit into. Because it's just fun. So these are the overall attributes. Let me scroll down a bit so you can see all of that. Okay. Wait, what was it? Oh yeah, this part. Like I said, I am not a streamer. I usually just kind of keep my stuff to myself. And at request, I'll occasionally just go on to show stuff for people who are interested to see. This mod, I would say, is almost indefinitely needed for any shotgun in this game if you're running it, because when you defeat enemies, you get a plus 30% for 5 seconds. That with this, because shotguns are the only ones who get shell capacity, so that's pellets. I get a extra of 13 with just the shell up. That's not counting for this because it's only you get when you kill stuff. It's currently, as I said before, I think it's electric right now. Oh, crud. Sorry. I suffer from chronic stage fright, so being just on a recording makes me extremely nervous. Kyle is a pretty safe investment. Like, if you've gotten him established and on solid footing, you can just throw him into a mission and he'll do fine no matter what it is. Like, it's not going to be like top damage, but he does pretty good, even in hard mode, as you saw. Next, I guess we'll move on. Is it okay if I move on to Blair? Because Blair's like the second best built character I have. Oh yeah, and if you ever happen to need those grinds for those reactors and catalysts, you can add me. I mean, my name is right there. If you want to add me, you could. I'm more than willing to help with that, and then you can get a first-hand experience of whether or not I'm as I say. Because easier to see it when you're playing with a person. These are my works in progress. These two, and then I'm considering her as a third. Volby, she's just kind of OP. I'll be honest. Like, this is one I've had some serious arguments over because, like, people have said with her you need crit, and I've told them, like, if you look here, with no crit rate investment, she's got a default of 6%. This is kind of like where the post you had saw where I was arguing with the guy because, okay, that's Volby. Freyna, by default, has 5%. Ah, okay. Yeah, Carl is a hard mode farm. I bought my Kyle. I'll be honest. I didn't get him through earnest means I paid for him. So, Blair he's my second best built because I actually, prioritized him. It says, I know he's good pick, but I don't want his pieces. I have him. My Luna has been suffering since the start of her life. Yeah, she's got some DDR stuff going on. My friend really seems to enjoy her. He's playing the crap out of her, and he's been having fun because he's good at the DDR stuff. She's got like a mini game inside of her kit, and it's kind of a thing. So yeah, this is my Blair. He's got his cooldown on this stack down to 9.6 seconds with a 15.5% duration. This is mostly a buff. You only do this like when you've cleared the area and you want to make his next text really knock someone the crap out, pretty much. These ones. This one, I have two builds that I'm kind of working between right now with him. This is just the first one that I'm getting on stable footing. I've kind of tried to mix them to, see, that's messed up because I've done socketing. It takes a considerable amount of time just to get one build up to par in this game, unfortunately. But Blair's a DOT, so of course, you want to have adequate duration. He's one of the few who's built around crit. I do apologize if I'm talking too fast. Once again, that's nervousness and effect there. With Blair, I do a little bit something funky with him that I guess most people don't do, which is why I feel like my Blair does perform slightly better in the long run. Because Blair has this nifty thing with him. He almost all of his offensive stuff, as you can see, is fire and dimension, right? Like everything that does damage is fire and dimension with him. I think most people go for technician, but he actually benefits from this modifier here, which not only increases his modifier, not his power, which, as you know, for DOT in this game, you need modifier, and lowers his cooldown. You don't want to go skill power with the DOTs, is what I've learned. This is the only one that doesn't provide dimensional, but as you can see, multi-talented here. I don't know if you've gotten this mod. Its tech thing gives it active skill range and power modifier, so I only use that to buff him. Exactly. I can't wait for them to upgrade the socketing capacity. That's going to be fun. So he's got a singular. So his singular buff from, it looks like multi-talented, is singular skill, all attribute damage plus 30% for 5 seconds. So like he can only keep one of those up for 5 seconds. He's mostly going to get the dimensional one, which increases skill cooldown for 20.5%, which allows you to kind of spam his skills, right? Because if you look at his passive, what happens is each of those little fire things on the floor allows his crit rate to go up. So like he already has a base right now of 29.85% crit rate. So each of those little panels allows him to get a little bit more nasty. Oh, I hate that they do this. Every time you go to a new character, it just takes away all of your HP and ammo. So let's go back to that little mission. And if you want, like I said, we can try a little Hanged Man, but I don't guarantee we're going to, since that's a team-based one, there's no guarantee I'm actually going to be able to complete it, unfortunately. So it's kind of luck. Because I know I'll be able to hold my own in Hanged Man, but a lot of other people, like I said, I can show it to you because you'll see my Kyle will not die in that. He'll probably not even get his shields broken because last time I did, shields didn't even get touched.
Excellent timing. I just happened to be mid-battle. Help me by protecting
Blair for a while had the
over
worst rep in this game, and that's what made me really start investigating the damage over time characters.
So it better not break.
Luna I would like to try at some point, but you know, there's a 10 Descendant cap without paying for slots, so that's going to take a while. I do apologize, I'm also getting over a cold, so my nasal cavities are like super friggin' cluttered right now, so I sound terrible. This guy's gonna spawn in.
Oh, looks like they're serious. Maybe our radar really is bothering them. Let's show them what an electrifying attack looks like. Looks like they're falling back. Great job. I'll need to get a move on.
And that's just Blair. Like, that's just a general run through of how I would play him. There are certain times where I'll usually use his grappling hook to just do that kind of a deal. But just trying to do it simplistically right now because, once again, kind of nervous. Greetings. I just saw someone else decide to jump in. Greetings. I do apologize. First time doing audio, as I just told the other person. I'm fairly nervous, so I do apologize. Just ran through Blair, and how I pretty much handle him. I guess we'll go to Volby next. Sharon's not really up to par right now because I don't have her socketed. She's also just a work in progress. I'll just go over, so the other person who just joined is not left out of the loop. I'm not a pro. I make no claims at being a pro. I'm still kind of getting my bearings in hard mode like everyone else. I mostly play alone, so unless my friends decide to drop in. This is my Greg's Reverse Fate. I need to socket this a few more times. That's my Smithereens again. I'm just backtracking. By the way, prototype for the other person who has joined. They haven't said anything in comments, but I'm not going to force anyone out of their comfort zone. And that's just a little quick run through of that. We'll show the Blair build again, just for reference. This kind of, you need it on any damage dealer in this game, if you don't want to just constantly die. Although I kind of hope they have a better alternative, because that 9% doesn't do well unless you have this capped, because it's a 2-second cooldown at max. Anything before that is kind of nearly unreasonable. This build is mostly just max cooldown. I just showed him Kyle, so I unfortunately, unless requested, won't backtrack to Kyle because we've already done him twice now. Let's, I guess, Volby, because she's kind of easy. Like, there's not a whole lot to Volby, but the biggest discrepancy I had with the other person that the comment that yielded, oh, I do need to put a couple more things back into this. I took a lot of stuff off to kind of show the person that she doesn't really, I wouldn't advise putting crit on her. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to put crit on her as far as I could see. Okay, her range, oh, I took all her duration mods off. Okay, she needs duration. Like, she's a damage over time. If you don't have duration on damage over time, then they're not actually a damage over time, in my opinion. Oh, yeah, I gotta socket her too. I forgot. Son of a biscuit. Okay, so she is like third tier kind of almost. She's not like, I don't use her anymore. When I first played this game, I used a lot of her, but she feels very overpowered to me, so I don't use her anymore. you know, no, you're good, Prototype. If I'm gonna talk myself up on social media, then I have to be willing to kind of show what I do, right? Like, no worries. It's not shitting on anybody. I mean, like, if I'm gonna say that my builds work, then I better be willing to test it and show it. Like, that's just my thing, and that's perfectly fine. You're good. Volby is kind of just... I got bored of her because all you literally have to do with her is just... You kind of don't even need to really use weapons with her, unfortunately. Like, and that's kind of... It gets so boring. It feels like the game's playing itself. Her and Bunny just feel like you just tap the skills and then the game just kind of plays itself.
I just happen to be mid-battle. Help me by protecting the radar.
I took no offense for it. Like, that's a fair thing. Like, if I'm going to sit here and talk crap on the internet, then I should be willing to show it. So that would never be seen as, like, talking crap or shitting on anyone, per se. But yeah, this is pretty much what you do with Volby. Like, you go around, you spam skills, and things die. It's not really like... She doesn't require a college degree to play. There are some nuances I'm pretty sure that I miss out on, but, like, yeah, this is pretty much Volby. And this is kind of why I got bored of her, because you can literally just do stuff like this. I like to have more input in my gameplay, if that makes sense. I like to actually feel like I'm playing my game. I don't do mobile games, and that makes it feel like a mobile game if I'm just sitting there letting the game do everything. And that's kind of why I stopped playing Volby. It's not that she's bad, it's just she makes the game super easy, and it bores me if I'm just sitting there and the game just kind of happens while I passively watch. My biggest complaint is most people don't seem to understand how BOT works. Most games don't even allow BOTs to crit, so I don't understand where people get this prospect of you have to crit to... Uh-oh, got frozen. She's not like... She doesn't require a whole lot of effort to play. She's just... You drop your skills and they die. And that's the only reason I don't play Volby. She's a very good character. It's just... Doesn't require a whole lot to play her. I much more prefer a character where I actually have to do stuff. Yeah, and then if she runs out MP, you're kind of just screwed. Because that's Volby. Now I've got to use a few of the thingies till I get some MP. Where is this? First time using her in hard mode. I haven't played her in like almost a month now. As long as you can keep her MP up, she's pretty good. Like, the only issue you run into is if you run out MP on Volby, then you're kind of just hoping that something dies and drops MP. I'm learning as I go. Like, if somebody's like, hey, we're doing speed runs, I'll jump on Volby. That's kind of what I mostly use her for.
Oh, looks like they're serious. Maybe our radar really is bothering them. Let's show them what an electrifying attack looks like.
She might go down, she might not.
Looks like they're falling back.
Yeah.
Great job.
Okay.
I'll need to get a move on.
Because that's her. Volby, I don't know. I would like to play her if I could make her fun again, but she just... It doesn't seem like you need to do a whole lot with her. And as you can clearly see, this is different from the way I build Blair. Like, I don't play Blair the exact same way I play Volby. Volby is a lot easier just to kind of cheeseball, like, just a few mods with her. And she's good. Like, this is hard mode, by the way. For the person who's just kind of gotten here. This is actually hard mode, Kingston. This is not your standard regular Kingston. I'll show it to you on the map shortly. I don't like to ignore anyone, so if anyone joins, then I'm going to have to stop and acknowledge you. That's just what I do. It's not because I'm a streamer or anything. Yep, see, it is in fact hard mode Kingston. Because I'm going to show each of y'all the build page. You can tell that I'm building them differently. Like, people complain about build diversity and then just build them all the same way. I'm like, well, if you're going to ask for build diversity, you should obviously be willing to do a little bit more, right? Like, build them differently. Jaber. He's a really weird one, because apparently from what I've seen, you want to give him a lot of HP. Most of his kit's HP. Unless you're doing one of these where you're just dropping double turrets and just letting them nuke everything down. Which, honestly, I find the double damage turret's kind of the more successful one. I do apologize to the person who left. They probably like, this is boring, and I couldn't say I disagree. It's just basic, rudimentary stuff. I'm not a streamer. I don't have a studio, any of that stuff. Oh, son of a biscuit. I forgot to show what he's doing. So the reason I like to use this one, this weapon has some pretty nice potential for stun locking if you can get the crit high enough. Because of its ability here. And this goes up like higher with these abilities will adjust somehow when you get the higher. Mine is still, I think, at tier 0. I haven't upgraded its actual ability yet, so there's that. This weapon has some future potential, but right now I don't have the time to fully invest in it. I don't really use weapons on Jaber. Alright, so it's like, yep, this is what he's got currently. Although, to be fair, I could supplement that with multi-talented, because multi-talented is such a useful mod that not using it feels almost criminal. Yeah, I also have his second one, his healing one. This is, oh, what? Oh yeah, that's because it's not loaded on. The mounting glitch, because it's in my inventory, that's this right here. Jaber is just doing the whole bop, 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 bop. Alright, we're going to go and play this other guy, see how Jaber could do. I used him to farm void fragments the other time, and he did decently. Let's see. I'm mostly going to put a bunch of HP on him because that increases his medical turret. So I can't use the medical turret build until I have more HP to put on him, because he's not socketed either.
Excellent timing. I just happened to be
mid-battle.
Help me by protecting the radar over there. Thanks to that, we can track down the enemy command center. So it better not break.
And while the turrets do what they do, you pick them off. That's how you do Jaber, in my experiences. And then when that's done, yeah. People say Jaber's crap, but he's pretty good if you're just going to drop turrets and kind of just pick enemies off. That's the easy way to play Jaber. Pretty sure there's other ways, but just how I play. They just kind of do more than 50% of the work is done by just dropping turrets in a group of enemies and just letting them get murdered by them. It is currently 3:32 p.m. Sorry, I had to tab over to see. 3:32 p.m. I live in California, so it's Eastern time right now. And you really just, with Jaber, want to pincer the enemies between them so they don't have a means of just kind of swarming the damn turrets. Uh-oh, yeah, see. Just messing around, that's my bad. Hard mode's not the place to just take an AFK and let the turrets do things. You kind of got to move around a bit. My apologies for that fatal flaw there. Ah, okay. That's fine. I should be on later in a few hours, so it should be fine. You live on Eastern time, it would seem, like based on that. So yeah, that should be fine. If you wanted to actually play together, because then you could actually see what's going on, like a little
Maybe
easier.
our radar really is bothering them. Let's show them what an electrifying
Holy
attack
son
looks
of a
like.
biscuit. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if I'm willing to show, then to speak about it. I'm always willing to show off whatever I can. I do apologize if this was boring. I know it wasn't like top notch. No worries.
Looks like they're falling back. Great job. I'll need to get a move on.
And that was just Jaber. Alright, let's go. Like I said, the VOD will be after I'm done. There will be a VOD of it, so you should be able to still see stuff. It'll be recorded, so how's it going? No need to like lose your job over somebody just trying to stream some stuff, so no worries. If you don't happen to be able to keep a full focus, it'll be recorded. You can just come back to the page and look at it in your own time. It's no big deal. Like I said, I'm not some big streamer, so any views are nice, but I'm by no stretch of the word a professional. I just like to build and test things. I find that fun for me, but I know not everybody likes doing that. That's Jaber. It's not like perfect. Sharon is not hard mode ready. I think we might be able to do something with Freyna. He was worried about the toxic fixation simulation build, which works better if you have a team, but I currently do not. So this is going to be fun. Fallen Hope probably works better with Freyna. Oh, I forgot to tell him. He asked about like why I had multiples. It's because they have these little sorry. So like, let me go back to. I have a loadout where I have all three purples because I have them set up so that they can kind of feed each other ammunition. I didn't fully explain that, so I do apologize. Okay, so hold on, let me get this set up the way I had it on the other character. So when I was saying they were feeding each other ammo, it's because they have these mods here. As you can see, these are special rounds. They convert one higher power round for every 120 rounds into special rounds. So I have them each with different types so that they can feed ammunition. This one turns general rounds into high power mods. This one turns special rounds into high power mods, and this one turns the impact mods into them, so that all the purples will constantly have a stream of ammo that way, so that none of them are technically lacking. As long as I'm picking up mods on the other ones, then I'm still getting them. Does that make a bit more sense? So it's like you can do stuff like that. If you have the conversion mods for each of them, you can kind of run a whole set of all of them and not really have ammo issues, because it converts any other mods that are on the ground into one of those. That's why I'm kind of doing it that way. It's weird, yeah, I am aware, but okay, so let's pick like a different one, like, because I don't like having to rely upon Greg's fate the whole time. That weapon is so good, it's kind of criminal. To be fair, it's kind of a criminal thing. Let's see, what would be a good one? I mean, I like Smithereens. We could just go Smithereens. Because this one converts impact mods, right? Yeah. Okay. So We'll go fiddle around with Freyna. I don't think she's gonna do super well in hard mode. I haven't like gotten back to her, but she's pretty good. Like she's not like the best built thing. I usually go that way. Does she have a lot of dimensional? She has mostly toxic and tech, if I'm not mistaken. She has one dimensional skill with that. She's mostly toxic and tech, so I don't think that multi-talented is going to be as good. Let me see what the buffs are for tech. Active skill, range, and power mod. Actually, that might be good for her. Yeah, let's put that on there. She's going to lose some tech, some modifiers, so we're going to move this off. She doesn't have shield, so moving that off shouldn't technically hurt the build. And we need technique because these kind of characters, they need modifier. No modifier, no damage for damage over time characters. Oh, we could use focus on tech, so that will work rather nicely. There we go. So I would have to go back to Albion first. Yep. So we could use the blue, but this gives you cooldown, which is going to kind of pay back in dividends. So yeah, I mean, this should work. She doesn't need to crit right now. Let me see, what do we have for Rutil? I had to come back to her because I haven't messed with Freyna since I started using the Toxic Simulacra mod. This will be good on her. Right, and yeah, let's go and try some shenanigans. I don't imagine I'll be able to do the whole mission, but we'll see. Because like I said, at a 5% crit rate, like that's not worthy of investment. It's just not at all. In most cases, you need a minimal 10% tolerable, but like 20% ideal.
Excellent timing. I just happened to be mid-battle. Help me by protecting the radar over there. Thanks to that, we can track down the enemy command center. So it better not break.
Freyna, you just kind of want to dodge around and kind of have them follow you into death, pretty much. Kind of just poison them to death and kind of weave around them. She's kind of mobile, but she doesn't. Her flaw is she lacks the mobility Volby has. Volby has outright superior mobility, and Volby can just spam skills. Freyna is literally intended to kind of be able to do other stuff. She's meant to. She's more of a support damage over time character, is what I would even tell the guy who was arguing with me online. Like, she's a support character. She's meant to be more co-op oriented. Volby generally has more range, but like if Freyna's in a team with that Toxic Simulacrum, any of your allies who get hit are also adding to the poison. So she's kind of got some mild CC going on here. Like she wants her enemies to die and kind of spread the fun. And that's Freyna's potential. She doesn't have as much range, but makes up for that in the contagious spreading of her ability. They hit you, they get poisoned. They get hit by her, they get poisoned. It's kind of, you're double dipping on just the fact the enemy's going to try to kill you and turning death against them. That's kind of how Freyna works. Doing pretty well for hard mode. I'm kind of impressed, to be fair. I did expect to get hit a lot harder than I am. He punishes enemies for grouping together. That's kind of Freyna's whole deal. If you group together with Freyna, you're pretty much screwing yourself over. Got a whole gimmick. You want enemies to get together so they can kill each other by just standing next to each other. And she technically has 2 sources of BOT. That's another thing that is unique to Freyna thus far, because most of them only have 1. But her Room Zero trauma is technically a separate instance of BOT compared to her toxin damage, which I don't think most people are acknowledging, because it's not the same proc.
Looks
It's
like
technically
they're
a separate
serious.
one.
Maybe our radar really is bothering them.
This is where I might
Let's show them what an electrifying attack looks like. Looks like they're falling back.
I could have used
Great
her
job.
ultimate. I don't know
I'll
why
need
I
to get
didn't.
a move on.
This is the part about being nervous and not making sound decisions. I kind of want to socket her, but I've heard her ultimates come out soon, so I've not socketed her. So the VOD will show everything I'm showing here, so you'll be able to look back in your own free time. I'm not made for streaming. Clearly I'm too nervous to stream properly. So streaming is not for me. That's Freyna. Like, it's not a sophisticated build thus far, but the potential's there. If we had a build simulator, I could show you what I would ideally put on her, because I have almost every mod in the game. Not all of them, but I'm only 100 short at best currently. When you go into the VOD, I did actually show that. Definitely don't like to make people's lives difficult. I mostly build because I want to help people. Because I remember what it was like when I first started playing games online. I started Final Fantasy XI online, and I remember sincerely what it was like just being in that game, and everybody just felt like the builds were too confining. So that's what made me really want to start building stuff to help other people. Because I know that life can be kind of suckish if all you're doing is just playing a game and everybody just wants you to play their way. So that's why I started taking interest in learning how to build things in games to help other people who really just don't want to build that way. Like, I try to learn everybody's way of playing and kind of find a way to make it work. Generally what I've started doing in games is just learning every character I can. Sharon's got some severe potential, and I'm very shocked that no one's decided to try and use her more. Especially with this mod here, the Void Domination one. It's pretty friggin' slick. Smooths out some wrinkles in her kit. Do I have another of her mods? No. Alright, I guess since those are all the ones that I currently have usable right now, we're just gonna go and mess around with the Hanged Man for some shenanigans, because I know that you're already at work. Like I said, do feel free to come back to the saved version of the video and take a look-see. We are going to fly back to Albion, since I think we're done with just shenanigans for now. Enzo's not built yet, so I don't have a build for him to display or showcase, but as you saw in each of them, I do try to build with some unique hitches that kind of accentuates the kits of each character. I don't think this game has a requirement for cookie cutter builds. You can try different things with each character. If you're reading their little skills, you can find little ways to make their kits unique to them so they can perform as they should. Like, a lot of people I see just want to slap Technician on everything, and there's no need for that. Every Descendant in the game usually has 2 or more attributes to their skills. You can use that to your advantage to kind of make something that works based around the skills you use. That's kind of what I try to show people, but I was very surprised that Freyna did as well as she did, but it's not fully surprising because most people are just building Freyna one way, and that's why I was trying to tell the guy on YouTube, like, listen, you don't have to build her that way. If the way you're building her is not working, then try something else. Don't continue to build the same way and then complain that the character sucks. Like, there are other things you can do. There are other things you can add to the character. You don't have to sit there and be miserable playing the game. If you just read stuff, like, it's not that hard to read this and realize this is a technician, a tech ability, and a toxic ability. This is a dimension one. This is a tech and toxic. Tech and toxic. Some descendants even have on their abilities, like my brother-in-law pointed out to me the other night. Technically, what's the name of the person?
If you want to live.
It's Viesa. Viesa's passive skill has an attribute. It's chill and tech. So she technically has 2 chill and tech abilities.
Feel a chill?
And 3 chill and fusion. Like, I think, like, if people just were reading it, they would notice these things. Some of the passives do damage. A lot of these content creators make it seem like it's such an ordeal just to... It's not hard to just read stuff and kind of just use logic to build is what I want people to be aware of. Like, building is... It's not rocket science. You can look at their skills, read them, and kind of draw conclusions from that. And anyone I want to believe is capable of making their own builds if they really want to, but the question is, do people actually want to do that? I think all of these descendants, that's why I keep saying the builds in this game are not so confining as people like to think. They're very open if you just read stuff, but...
Go on, I'm waiting.
Meta-minded people don't try to read into stuff too much. Like, most of the meta followers aren't actually meta players. They don't actually want to read stuff on their own. They've expressed a distinct lack of desire to learn, and if you don't want to learn, there's not much anyone can do to help you. There has to be a desire and a willingness to learn for someone to help you. I need to go and farm these. I'm going to wait till Enzo's done. Yeah, Freyna. Like, if you just look at the abilities of most of these characters... Oh yeah, that's why I'm not going to socket her yet, because I'm waiting, because that's one I kind of am excited about, because I like Freyna. I think she's got a lot of untapped potential that people are just ignoring. She's good now, it's just, as you saw in hard mode, I was surprised that she was able to do hard mode. I straight up told you, I didn't think she was capable of it, but... Apparently she's proved me wrong, even. She's a good character. It's just, if you're going to keep building her like everyone else is building her, the problem is when you have the same build, you're going to have the same flaws in that build. And that's what I try to tell people, but I'm not so good at explaining things nowadays. COVID has not done me any favors in terms of being able to explain what I mean, because during COVID I didn't really have people to talk to. But, yeah, before COVID, I was pretty articulate. I was very good at explaining what I mean, and, that's not meant to be a pity thing. I do apologize. That sounded bad. But, yeah, this game has so much potential if people just read the skills. That's all I want to tell people, is just read the skills. Don't just take what a content creator says and run with it and think that's the only truth. Read the skills. Most of the stuff is right there for you to learn if you just want to take the time and read it. It's not that hard. Like, you don't have to keep using Technician if you don't want to boost modifiers. You can usually find that there's a commonality between characters and use that. Like, Fusion, non-attribute's kind of the constant, and then there's a changeable. There's Dimension for this skill and this skill. So if that's the case, you go to Modifier. You can literally type it in here. That's what I keep telling people, but nobody wants to listen or try. Well, no, that doesn't seem to work here, because Focus on Singular has a modifier, but I know for a fact Dimensions also in here. Oh, I already have it equipped, so there's that. Yeah, see, the secondary effects usually have a modifier on them. So you don't have to use Technician. If you see that the secondary effect ties to the skill you're using, you can use Singular. You can use Technician, as I showed you earlier. There's Singular, Dimension. Like, all the secondary non-elemental modifiers are in the game. You don't have to just use Technician. The elemental ones are going to be usually power. The secondary ones, Dimension, as you see here, is going to be a modifier. I don't see content creators really talking about that, because it does work. It won't show on the skills. It doesn't always reflect on the skill chart, but you'll notice it in your damage. It's as simple as just reading. Like, it's not really that hard. Oh, that's another reason why modifier didn't do it. I had the root tool. My bad. I do apologize. I am not a content creator, so I'm going to make a bunch of mistakes until I get used to talking to people again. But yeah, see? These are modifier skills. These non-elemental things are modifiers. It only just takes a couple of seconds to look through things and read them, and you realize you have options. There is build diversity in here. Most people don't want build diversity. They're complaining about build diversity. They don't want to use it. They just want to complain, unfortunately. And that's fine. I'm not gonna knock people like to complain. But don't present that as fact for people to go and run with and pretend that that's all this game is. Like, there's so much more if you just read the skills. The modifiers, the modules, just read them. There's so much to learn from that. But nobody wants to do that. Like, everybody wants to say Volby should be critting. I don't think you should be building someone with a 6% innate crit for crit. That's wasteful. You could just add modifier to it and it'll spike her damage. Just add a modifier. She's a DOT character. Why are you using crit? The only Descendant right now who should be using crit is Blair. And that's because Blair, and just so that people don't think I'm making this crap up, because I'm showing it to you just as I say it on Facebook or anything else or YouTube, I will show it to you. I'll literally, you're seeing it right now, and so if someone's going to tell you that I'm making it up, use your own eyes. You saw what I said. I said it. You watched me do it. I took all his mods off, right? He innately has 20% crit. That's worth investing in. He's a damage over time character who innately has 20% crit. Most of the other Descendants who are damage over time do not have innate crit. Therefore, building crit on them is kind of wasteful. Those are stats you could be putting towards making them do more. Why would you use crit on Volby or Freyna? There's no reason for that. Their innate crit's so low. A 5%, you shouldn't be building crit on that. I'm kind of like, as I said earlier, Blair and Kyle are my two favorites right now because I use them the most. Unfortunately, Kyle is just easy. He's like the lazy guy. I just throw him in there and he's not going to die, so he's going to do something in the mission. Blair is a bit more fun and intensive. I don't know if you noticed in the game, each of the Descendants has their own soundtrack when you're fighting with them in the field. Blair's music is just really fun, so it makes me more able to play him a bit better. As you saw when I was playing Blair, I didn't get knocked on the ground as much as Kyle. I just sit there and I take a hit and I laugh. So I love Blair. I also like Volby. It's just she's a little too easy. I like a lot of Descendants right now. That's why I don't have a main. I like several of them. There aren't too many that I don't like, is the sad part. I've almost hit my quota of max Descendants.
Cook or arsonist?
I have to, unfortunately for that, I have to beat the Hanged Man. I would love to be able to say that, because the only one I can get to is right now is the Hanged Man. I'd have to actually beat the Hanged Man, because the problem is, I'll go into that just so you can see it, because the problem is you can't do private, so it's not like I'm going to solo mode and just solo them. I would try that. If I go into public right now, you'll see it's going to be difficult because people are going to die. I'm probably not going to die in the Hangman fight. I usually don't. I'll just show it to you so that you can see it, because until I beat the Hangman, I can't actually fight them. I want to, but the problem is that's not a solo fight. Transcendent mods, his modules, I don't have them. There are a couple of them that I see have some promise. It's just they're locked behind hard mode, unfortunately, so it's very difficult to acquire them, and Transcendent mods aren't easy. I'll show them to you just so that you have your own. Like I said, anything you ask me to show you, I'll show you. I'm not going to hide it and then say, oh, well, that's not the case. I like to be honest and upfront with people. Let me see. Kyle, one of the ones I do want, let me see, where is Kyle located? He's like right next to SMO. Where is SMO? I mean, if you want to, I don't want to force people, because I'm not the type of person who's going to beg for help. I'll just wait until a time where I can do it. If you can't help, that's fine. I definitely won't say no, because that's just my pride talking. But see, this one I feel like has potential, because like when the people are talking about Iron Man, this one could actually possibly still allow you to do Iron Man stuff. When airborne, continuously consumes magnetic force to drop bombs. The bombing stops when magnetic force is completely depleted, and additional damage from magnetic force is not triggered on collision. So I feel like that allows you to just bombard things from the sky and drop nukes on things. This one would be good if you just wanted to have your magnetic force always up. It removes the ability to absorb bullets, but when you knock enemies back with it, it gives you magnetic force based on the number of knockbacks. That one has some potential. I don't have it, so I can't say it is outright good because I don't have any of them, but these ones on paper sound pretty good. This one's one for his shield explosion. He can pull enemies towards him, and at the end it blows them up. I feel like that one, if I had it, would be pretty sweet to have. But as you can see right here, if you don't do intercept battles, you can only get it by combining modules. So it's like, this one's useless. I don't see any. This just seems terrible. Objectively bad. You're getting rid of one of your magnetic force generation methods, your only one that you have other than just having your shields go down. This one right here is garbage. Objective garbage, unless something else gives you that. There is actually a module you can equip that allows you, when you kill enemies, to kind of get your resource at a chance, but that's garbage. This mod is just X over it, red X over it, it's garbage. This one has potential, this one, and this one. These three are good. This one's garbage. And I think every Descendant kind of has at least one mod that's just bad. That is meant to troll. Like, for her, it's this one. I cannot, for the life of me, and I try a lot of builds and stuff, figure out why this is good. Instead of you getting the ability to have the snake that goes around and spreads the DOT, it just creates a rectangular puddle in front of Volby. And it's not even that big of a rectangle. It's just... I guess maybe on a defense mission where you don't want to leave the area, that might be good, but... yeah. Anyway, if you get back on tonight and you want to do it, let me just try to get a hangman thing, because I did say I'd show you that so you can see what the problem is. Because like I said, it's not that I'm having trouble killing it, it's just... yeah. I'm just going to queue in, because like I said earlier, talk is cheap. I could say anything on here and be completely wrong. But if you see it for yourself, then... that kind of disputes that, right? Because you've seen for yourself that it is potentially the issue. Let me, Hanged Man is weak to Toxin, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just get that, because if I go in with the wrong weapons, then I'm going to do absolutely nothing on him. Let me see. He's weak to Toxin. Okay. So let me just switch to my Toxin mod, and then I'll try to get the Hanged Man off before you have to go. Because I do apologize. I tend to talk a lot, and I prattle on because I like having people talk to, but nowadays that's a rarity. My wife is at work, so she's not going to come home and want to talk. And that's fair. Let me see. I'm going to have to switch the chill set to the toxic set, which is fine. That's not a huge loss. Let me... you can call me Jay if you'd like. I do apologize. That was not hospitable of me. Let me see right here. And yeah, Toxin. Me too. I like supporting, and that's why I play a tank, because people go down. Like, that's the honest thing. I like Esmo, and I'm not Esmo, Enzo, and I also like Jabra. I like all kinds of things, but mostly I like DOT. Damage over time is just... I love doing that, because it's more tactical. Like, me and you would actually make a pretty good team, because you're more on the support side, and I'm definitely on the tactical side. Like, this game had a tactical mode, I would love that, because I'm pretty good at planning. Definitely, like, I kind of feel like that would have been nice. Ajax is better for that. Ajax is definitely, like, he can shield you, he can deflect bullets. Like, Ajax was my first Descendant, actually. I kind of want to go back to him. It's just that Carl does what he does, and it feels like having two Descendants built for the same thing is a waste. Eugen is good for that, though. He can actually heal people from afar and kind of transfer constant heals between teammates. If you want someone support like that, Eugen also has a really nasty DOT build. So I guess I would kind of recommend Eugen if you're kind of looking for like ultimate support. Eugen has pretty nice potential, if I'm being honest. If you want to be like maximizing support, him or Enzo. Enzo's also good because he provides a team with ammo supplies on the fly, so you don't have to worry about running out of ammo with Enzo, from what I've heard. He also makes farming vaults for mods and stuff really easy. Like, I don't have all the Descendants, but I read up on all of them. I do my best to kind of just see what their kit's working with, look at their innate stats once I build them. I wish I had more slots, because if I had more slots, then I could get more descendants without getting rid of them, because I'm sorry to say Bunny is first on my chopping block. If I have to delete someone, she's going to be the first. I don't enjoy playing Bunny. Volby, I have fun playing. Bunny, I legitimately don't find her fun to play. She's very good, she's just not fun. Sorry, I forgot I'm still on stream, so if I tab over it, pauses the broadcast. So this is him. People say, you know, don't use Kyle because he's melee oriented, so being melee in a Colossi fight is kind of wasteful. And on the one hand, I kind of agree. This fight specifically, because like it's going to test my shield. If I can't get in on him, I can't actually generate my magnetic force. A little bit of MF for this fight. I'm not going to die. But, no, MF. MF is essentially a third source of protection. It stands for magnetic force. Now, I'm not going to do like top tier damage here. Like, my whole thing as a child is to kind of just weather the storm no matter what it is. That's kind of Kyle's whole story. See, yeah, this is already happening, and I'm not sure they're doing enough damage for us to actually get very far here. But at least it won't be my fault if we die, because I'm not going to defeat one user res anytime soon. That's when you go pop the shield on Kyle, the magnetic force protector, and then you go on red team. No risk to you, no chance of you dying during that whole transaction. Uh-oh. This is the death move. Yep. Oh, man. Yeah, that was the first time we've actually gotten to the point where he could do that. I was told you're supposed to pick up the little orb in the center. That was really bad. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to end that. I have never seen that happen. Let's see. I'm not doing terrible damage. I did 3 mil damage with just that little short bit. That was really bad. I'm so sorry. Never had that happen before. I'll get past Hangman eventually. It's just that was really bad. Wow. I didn't even have time to see him do the little orb drop. I've heard, like, the orbs will drop, like, some little vials on him will drop before he does the instant death thing, and I didn't even have time to do that because I was busy rezzing people. Yeah, if you want to add me in the game, I will appreciate that. I'm probably going to go because, wow, there's really nothing more to see here. But as you would have seen, like, I didn't die because I wasn't able to hold up or do damage. I clearly died because so many other balls being juggled. I didn't have time to even see him activate death mode till it was too late. If that's adequate for you, I'll close the stream. If not, I'll keep it open and I'll try to improvise on something to do, I guess, to entertain, because I'm going to stream and I will try to cater a little bit. There's really not much more to see because at this point I'm waiting on Enzo to finish crafting. I'm probably just going to farm for some extra stuff to upgrade my weaponry. There's really not much more to see here.
Now what do you want?
Kyle having transfer shields would have been awesome. I would have loved that. I got an hour till Enzo. I'll be right back. No, you're good. It's just I'm not sure there's much more to see with this stream because yeah, I'm not sure there's much more
If there's something you
to
need,
do.
you'll need
I mean,
to
unless
pay.
you just want to watch me farming stuff, that's fine if that's a thing. Don't apologize for having a job, and I wish I had a job right now. I don't. It's been difficult finding a new job. You are completely fine. Do not apologize for being an adult who has responsibilities who can actually honor them. That's nothing to be apologizing for. I don't know what else I could do here. Like, I guess I could just go farm the last bit of thing I need to get another catalyst. This thing here, energy activator crafted, because I have 2 more blueprints. Let's go do that, I guess, because there's nothing else to do right now. It's mostly what I do all day in this game is just farm for stuff and try to progress bit by bit. Snail's pace, but yeah, it's progression. It is now 4 o'clock. I probably do need to get some kind of food on the table, like maybe make a little snack, but you're good. This gives me cooldown. Is there anything else I could replace that with? It's called Potential Collector, that's what it was. The thing I was talking about earlier that gives you the points with just beating up the enemies. Potent Collector, that's what's called. I do want to level up Blair, so we're going to do that. Right, let's go. In the meantime, Oh, there it goes. Crud. That's unfortunate. I do apologize for the loading screen. If I stay on this stream long enough, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna coax me into speaking in different voices, because I'm gonna get bored. And I'm good at mimicking different voices. Probably shouldn't have said that. I think possibly someone else has already retrieved it. If there's one in the map. Probably up there. Most definitely up there. Hey, where are you? There you go. Oh, wrong button. I think that's all I needed. Pretty sure that was it. Yeah, I need a couple more. Let's put the tracking. I don't know how streamers manage to do this all day. I envy them, because I do not have the personality for streaming unless I was telling jokes. Like, if I was telling jokes all day, I probably could do this all day, but my jokes aren't really NSFW. And there's like a knee-jerk reaction, like when I'm in a public place, to try to keep some sense of composure and professionality that I guess would drain me doing streaming professionally. But I'd like to be able to help people, and I guess I have to learn to talk so that people can actually see that the real person's not just a bot. I don't know how they do this. They make it look so easy just to stream and not be nervous and shy. I'm naturally a shy person. I learned to go against the grain because I know other shy people don't speak. So I try to be more vocal, because us shy folks tend to miss each other like boats in the night because we don't speak up. And it's not that no one wants to speak to us, just a lot of times a lot of shy people tend to go to the same places. It's kind of the only appeal of streaming. I'd like to just be able to reach out to more people so they know that, you know, in this world, like, you're not as isolated as you think. That's the fun part about being born during the internet. You don't have to feel alone. When I was growing up, there was no internet. I mean, until I was like in first grade. Internet was still just basic. He had AOL and all that stuff, so. But if you didn't have AOL or anything like that, there wasn't really a way to communicate with people like there is now. Where's the bolt? There's got to be one around here somewhere. Son of a biscuit. This is a small area. There probably isn't any bolts here. I love this game, personally speaking. I kind of look forward to seeing what they're going to do with it, because right now it has untapped potential. Did you see the ice? Well, you saw Ultimate Freyna, so you already saw the ice chick. I'm not sure how her kit's gonna work. She's a sniper. She looks interesting. Kind of feel like just starting to build Sharon on stream, but then if I do that, I have to wait 29 hours after I start the thing craft and to put it on Enzo. I don't have Enzo yet, so I don't know if his potential is just all that I've already seen, or if he has something hidden, because, like, we already know what he can do, we just don't know what he can't do. And there's no point in building for stuff that's already done, unless I just want to copy-paste what someone else has already done. I like to try new stuff, just generally. It's hard to know what other people are doing, because I kind of just build all of my builds custom. I don't follow guides per se. I use the guides as a ground base, and then I kind of just expand upon that in my own way. I feel that's what building's supposed to be. When you make a character, you should try to do it your own way in some regard. You shouldn't just copy-paste. You should definitely be trying to make it your own, because you're not really playing the game, in my opinion. If you're just following a guide without some form of understanding, like, I generally feel like the point of understanding a build is so that at some point you could just make a build without needing a guide. That's at least always what I've felt strongly. You learn to build so that you can kind of make your own builds. You don't need to watch a guide every single time. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. I'm willing to be wrong. As I always tell my nieces and nephews, there's no problem being wrong or making mistakes if you're willing to learn from them. And so I always try to have the willingness to learn. Like, if I made a mistake, I'm willing to correct it and have the moral integrity to say, hey, I was wrong. My bad. I don't know if that's a thing that's valued on the internet nowadays, but I'm probably just gonna end the stream now. Thank you, by the way, Prototype. Like I said, add me. It's glitch variable. I gotta wait for the thing to load because I don't remember the hashtag numbers. I am, in fact, a PS4 player, so I do apologize. My loading is really slow. But I thank you. I mean, I wouldn't have figured out I could have voice chat on here if not for this stream, so I've mostly just uploaded Genshin Impact stuff with no voice, nothing. I didn't know that you could actually talk on PlayStation 4 recordings. Right there is... Oh, wrong button. It's glitch variable, hashtag 106. If you type that in friend search, glitch underscore variable, hashtag 1601, you should be able to add me on friends regardless of your platform. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you. Have a wonderful remainder of your day.